In this week's Top Gear Motorsport, Steve Berry goes drag racing at Santa Pod. Where else? Tony Mason goes to Scotland for the Granite City Rally. What else? And Steve Lee goes stadium racing with the Americans. Who else? Welcome to Top Gear Motorsport and welcome to the Hockenheim circuit in Germany. We're here for the last round of the 1994 German Touring Car Championship, a series already won by the Mercedes of Klaus Ludwig. Later on in the programme, I'll be driving that championship-winning car.
February the 25th and the start of the 1995 Mintex National Rally Championship. Last year's winner, Chris Mellors, is out to win it again. David Gillanders was pipped at the post last year, but was back, determined to win the series also in Cosworth, and he started in the best possible way.
Well, we don't usually start with finishes, but this is the end of the winter rally and the rather unlikely rallying setting for Bournemouth. It's been won by David Gillanders, who now faces a 600-mile drive home to where he lives. For the next round of the Mintex National Championship, he'll be laughing because it starts in his hometown of Aberdeen.
He was there as the cars started the Granite City Rally, one of the most demanding of the series. For Gillanders, it was a trip round his own back garden. Chris Mellors won last year's championship in a Sierra Cosworth. For this year, he's purchased Francois Delacour's Escort from Ford, no less. In Bournemouth, Murray Grierson only managed third, but the former Scottish champion was determined to do better here. Steve Hill's Mitsubishi Galant was hotly tipped, a bigger car liking the long, fast stages. Local man Brian Lyle actually sponsors this, but wasn't expecting any favouritism from the organisers. The reigning Burma Scottish champion is Mike Horn from Duns. Yes, home of Jim Clark, Andrew Cowan and Louise Aitken-Walker. Local man George Gould was aiming for a Group N win, but the best laid plans...
You've been making some gallant efforts there. Do you think you're going to get it out?
We'll keep trying until we're out of time. You know, these spectators are a hardy bunch, so we'll keep trying. There's always a possibility, isn't there?
How badly damaged is the car?
I think it would drive, and, you know, it's all cosmetic, I think. The mechanicals would be fine, so it still drives and runs, so if we can get it out, we'll keep going. Obviously, it's a wee setback.
Callum Guy in his Toyota won last month's Valentine Rally in Scotland, but was another early casualty on this event when smoke appeared in the cockpit when the turbo blew.
You all right?
The crew saved the car, as did the determined George Gould. Steve Quinn from the Isle of Man found the Scottish forest a little different to the smooth tarmac of the Manx rallies. Steve Hill, who lives in Oxfordshire, had the luxury of local ace Stella Boyles to conduct him around the rally.
Left and right, into 200 and 45 left.
The infamous 17-mile Clashindarroch stage provides punctures like nowhere else. Steve Hill and Stella Boyles succumbed and were overtaken by Trevor Smith's Group N Escort. The Simonite sisters, Mintex Ladies champions, were running very late. Guess what was their problem?
Well, we've been having punctures in Clashindarroch. Well, we just had one front, and it was rough in there. A lot of all this granite, probably why they call it the Granite City. A lot of big sharp in there that you can't avoid.
David Gillanders, running second, handsomely beat the target time on the 9-mile Gartley stage, but it didn't help him catch up the leader Grierson. Chris Mellors was just 1 second over the target time, but was starting to get to grips with the left-hand drive Escort. Murray Grierson in the ex-Alistair McRae Subaru was ahead of the target time and 4 seconds in the lead. Trevor Smith won this event 6 years ago and has now returned to the sport in his ex-Shell Scholarship Cosworth. Old rally cars and drivers never die. Now you see it, now you don't. Former Scottish champion Raymond Munro from Culloden was on the limit. Brian Lyle said he was still learning to drive Malcolm Wilson's old Escort Cosworth. He was learning fast, 4th overall. Another disappearing trick from Mike Horn, who was holding a top 10 place but struggling behind the Escorts. Neil Duggan from Ayrshire had a huge accident in the first round at Bournemouth. The car had been rebuilt but was in the wars again with a broken strut.
Well, the rally's 2/3 of the way through now, and this is the main service area at Huntley Auction Mart. Things aren't going quite according to plan for David Gillanders because Murray Grierson's Subaru is in the lead by 13 seconds.
Murray and I are just swapping second for second. I mean, the long clash, he only beat me by 1 second. I mean, 17 miles in 1 second. I mean, it's tough.
How does the power of the two cars compare, the Subaru and the Escort?
Well, I think with this new restrictor system we've all fitted, horsepower now is down to 300 horsepower, irrespective of what engine, so we're all round about 300 horsepower now. So really there's no power advantage here.
There wasn't much joy in the Mellors camp. They had a major differential problem.
We haven't got a spare with us. Malcolm hasn't got a spare, so we're just going to try and repair the old one. Just having a look at it now. That could be it.
It's like a tall order, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really. In about 10 minutes. We'll see.
What about these stages? They're supposed to be Gillanders' home patch.
Well, people keep saying about home stages and that. I don't think David will really know them any better than anybody else. He'll be in them once, maybe twice a year. You can't remember every corner. No, I wouldn't say that matters. You may try a little bit harder in front of your home crowd. That's sometimes what makes the difference.
Against all odds, Chris Mellors, with repaired diffs, swung back into action. Gillanders thought Mellors was no longer any threat. It was really flying to try and lead his home event. For the canny Grierson had the psychological advantage. He knew he was leading. Brian Lyle was running on puncture-proof tyres, slower but safer. Putting his diff problems to the back of his mind, last year's champion Mellors suddenly put on a spurt. David Gillanders and co-driver Brian Thomas were fighting, but still in second spot here on the final stage at Benaki. Murray Grierson, a superb tactical driver, was actually easing off now, but not enough to be caught. Trevor Smith, the 91 Mintex champion, celebrated his return to rallying. And for Brian Lyle, the best ever result in an event of this stature, 4th. Mellors drove on the limit to overhaul Gillanders on the final stage and snatch second place from the local man.
Well, the Granite City's developed into a fast, full-day battle, with the honours going to Murray Grierson and Stuart Merry in their Subaru Legacy. The champagne's now pouring, and of course, this being Scotland, the party's only just started.